When you're on track on a two-stroke, good points. The moment that you rev the bike, it puts a smile on your face. The moment that you make a mistake, you're hard on yourself. You know, when you get it right, you're buzzing, you have a smile. You know, it's just something different. You feel like you're riding something. You can make a mistake, but yeah, when you get it right, nothing beats that feeling. You know, most explain the 150 as a 125 on steroids, but let's break that down a little bit, because it's pretty easy to say that it's, you know, it's on steroids. We all know what that means, that it's a little bit more beefed up and a bit stronger, but you know, what are the benefits to that? If you've got a 150, you know, you can be a little bit more lax on the jet, and it doesn't have to be so spot on, and that means that when you're riding out on track, you know, when you're on a 125 and it delays and you have a little bit of a delay, due to the bike not being as efficient as it should be, the 150 will pull that, you know, it will hide that. So that extra cc's basically pull you out of the turn that little bit easier. You know, if you're a little bit heavier, you know, weight wise as well, then obviously the 150 helps. But it's just got more torque. More torque delivers it to the ground better, because on a 125, you know, you can break traction. On the 150, it's a little bit harder to break traction because the torque's always there and the drive. So does it rev out as well? It certainly does, yeah. I mean, the bike certainly does rev out, and it's just basically, you know, there isn't a lack of power. It is just a full improvement of power over the 125. So it isn't like, oh yeah, the power's been transferred to the bottom or to the top. It's basically just a power curve that is just a step ahead of the 125, and that's all the way throughout. If you're racing 125s and you're in a 125 class, then obviously you need a 125. But if you just want to have some fun and you need something a little bit more punchier, then the 150 is going to be for you. And in all honesty, like the track that I was riding around today, you'd be hard pushed on any bike to beat a 150 around that track. Just to touch base on the 2019 as well, you know, don't be thinking that it's the same as the 2018, because it's not. It's got a new chassis, new linkage, new swinging arm, revised suspension. You know, the power's been tweaked a little bit, and the bike in general is just a lot better than the 2018. So the 2019 two-stroke range, it's seen the same modifications as the 2019 four-stroke range, and one of the things there as well, which was really key, was the fact that, you know, rider contact points on the bike. You know, KTM have worked really hard on basically concentrating all their efforts into figuring out where people or riders have contact on the bike, and that means like where you grip with your legs and where your rub marks are. And when you ride the bike, it does feel like that, because when you come into a couple of the turns and you have your leg up high, there's nothing in the way. So it's slim, you know, it's a slick machine. The new chassis is an improvement, because the maneuverability of the bike, it's a lot better, you know, and basically you can place a two-stroke pretty much where you like anyway, you know, but now, you know, if you was to ride the bikes of old to this new bike, then you would feel definitely an improvement. The revised suspension, you know, that's an improvement. WP with the air forks, I mean, for me, they're probably the best air forks that are on the market. And you know, you've got one chamber that you have to concentrate your efforts on and make sure that the pressure's right in it, you know. And I don't see a fluctuation too much in that chamber, even with the standard forks. I've gone practicing from 1 week to the next and checked, and nothing's dropped. So obviously you do have to check though, because you know, you need to keep on top of that. But the benefits of the air forks, you know, certainly do outweigh just having a little check-up with the pump. And, you know, it's no big ask, really. It's important to get the suspension right. Yes, you can hide bad suspension on a little bike, especially on a little two-stroke. But you know, the key to it is that when you're coming out of the turns, you don't want the bike to be unsettled, and you want the bike to react right. And even coming in, you know, when you've got too much pressure in the front forks, you'll get that patter feeling, and it'll hit against the palm of your hand. So you know, when you just need to drop the pressure if that happens a little bit, or maybe adjust the rebound or the compression. for me, it's good value for money, because basically it's fun out on track. You know, from the moment that you purchase this bike, yeah, you're going to lose a little bit of money on it, but two-strokes are in demand. If you include the enduro range, they're about 50% of the market at the moment, so definitely good value for money.